Hi guys, and welcome back to World of Tanks and another random destruction. And I've been grinding out a bit of money today and doing a few daily doubles and that sort of thing. Now we're in the Gorynych KV-5. It's Ghost Town. My mind just went blank then, proper brain fart. And standard battle, tier 8 match if I haven't already said, and I'm in the Gorynych KV-5. Quick rundown for you. 167mm pen with the standard ammo, 300 damage. It's got a 40km/h speed limit and reaches it mostly going downhill or on flat ground. 180mm of armour on the front, 150 on the sides, 140 on the rear, and the turret is exactly the same at 180, 150, 140 front, sides, rear. I've been having some fun in this, I really have, and you've actually got 4 clips tonight. A couple of them are a bit shorter, so we've got this one, and in this one I pop my KV-5 ram kill cherry. I do, and it's also got one of my subscribers in it, and he did jokingly ask me to not put it on YouTube, but sorry man, I had to do it. So yeah, sorry about that, but I just had to, I'm afraid. I've been trying to get a ram kill in this since I got it. I've just never had the opportunity, or if I did, I missed because they dodged out of the way, and I managed to do it, so here we are. You've also got, I think, the last replay. There's one of my subscribers in that one as well, which is starting to happen a little bit more now. I've got some more subscribers, and we've got something a bit fun, not so much funny but fun, and then we've got something a little bit annoying actually, but we'll get into that in more detail in the actual replays. Now I decided to come just into the town up this side, and I wasn't planning on having to fight off all these guys on that corner there, and I really wish I could have got myself into a better position. But I'm going to keep moving back and forward, trying to stop them getting a good shot on my weak spot. I'm going to donk a couple more shots here and there, and yeah, we're going to try and take them down. But just while I'm trying to take down that KV-5, I've got a little bit of backup, but we could do with some more. I'll just let you know that there is an in-game competition running for World of Tanks. Now all you have to do is sign up on the website and just play the game, and they will take the scores directly from the server, and it's to do with the highest base XP in a tier 4, 5 or 6 vehicle, and it's running from yesterday the 10th of October until the 23rd of October. There's a few rules. Platoons are not allowed. Premium time or any other XP modifiers will not be taken into account when determining the score. There's a few prizes for it as well. All prizes will be credited within 2 weeks after the end of the competition, according to the website, and I will put a link to it in the description of this video in case you guys want to go and sign up. Now, first place, you get an SU-122-44 and 7 premium days. Now, the SU-122-44 is a very nice tank destroyer in my opinion. I really like it. Second place is I think it's the Panther T25 or the Skoda T25, whatever you want to call it, and 7 days, which is a tier 5 German premium. And then third to 10th place are 2 garage slots and 7 days of premium. So it might be worth doing if you're playing the game anyway. Why not sign up? You never know, you might win. You're not going to win if you don't enter. I think I entered the last one, but I didn't win anything. But then again, I wasn't holding out much hope. There are some very good players on PS4 and Xbox. Right, so we've managed to do a bit of damage, not too much. I've only got 4 penetrating hits so far. Got a few assists and a bit of tracking assist. Tried to keep the Gorynych tracked, just basically to keep him out there so that other guys could shoot at him that had a better angle than I did. And I managed to put one through the side of the 110's turret. And the poor 110, who's... yeah, you'll see it coming. I don't know what it is when you get a KV-5 to the top of a hill, something just takes over and you have to just charge down it. It doesn't really happen any other tank, but I managed to track him, which was lucky, and there goes the kill. Sorry dude, like I say, I had to put it on. But that was my cherry popped, so now I'm going to try and damage the OI's ammo rack, but then there's something hiding up on that hill over in the distance, and it manages to put a shot through me. I get a lucky one through the back of the OI. I didn't think I'd actually catch him and set him on fire. Is he going to burn to death? Nope, I think somebody finished him off just before he could. Slightly frustrating when that happens. I like to burn them to death, but I have been guilty of doing that once or twice myself, so I am not going to judge. Now, we were going to move in and swarm that heavy, but then a medium. In fact, there's only a medium and a heavy left, and he pops up behind us. So I'm going to spin it around and see if I can't farm a little bit more damage before the match is over. I'm going to take a shot on the move, and it just tracks him, or it appeared to, but I think he burnt his repair kit and got those back up. And I can't really blame him. He's got a Gorynych and a Super Pershing and whatever else has come in. Yeah, just to focus him down. So I would have done exactly the same. And he's done for before I can quite get round the corner. So we've just got one enemy heavy left. And he's over near our base. And if memory serves, I think it's a T-32. But while I'm on the way to the T-32, again I asked yesterday how the monster ops going. Has everybody done the first part and waiting for the second one? And did you notice a lot of kill stealing going on yesterday? I've seen a bit of it today, but not as much. It wasn't in every game, but there was the odd game that I played yesterday where kill stealing was very, very apparent. And you can usually tell from the results screen if you don't see it yourself. Now, not always. You know, sometimes it doesn't happen. Oh, just managed to finish off the T-32. It was nice for another kill. Now, yeah, you can normally tell by the results screen. If somebody's not really done a great deal of damage, but got quite a few kills, then chances are, and not always, they have been doing a little bit of kill ninjery. Yeah, donning their ninja outfit and ninjering those kills. Like I say, not always. Sometimes it is just ill luck. You know, I've had it before where I've not been purposely kill stealing, but I have stolen a couple of kills here and there. But anyway, enough of that rambling on. Not too bad a match. Just over 3,100 damage done. Just over 3,300 blocked, which is not bad at all, and 128,000 credits. Did get a bit of XP from the extra ops, and I've been grinding in my monster tanks basically because, well, why not take advantage of the ×2 experience while it's on now. It didn't come top. It's just flicked over before I saw who did, so I do apologise, but they look like they had a damn good game, so well done to them. Congrats. And there we go. Not a bad game, but like I say, I popped my KV ramming cherry, so I had to put it on. I'm happy now. Yeah, definitely. But I am going to try and do that a lot more. That was a lot of fun. Right, so here's the second replay for tonight, and this is the fun one. I'm in the T-34-2, Chinese Tier 8 medium. A lot of people seem to overlook this line, but the T-34-1 and the T-34-2, in my opinion, are two really quite nice medium tanks. Now, I've got the 122mm gun fitted to this at the minute. You can have 100mm on it, and I normally have the 100mm on, but sometimes I put the 122 on. Just it changes the way the tank plays. It makes it more of an ambush tank, and you know, a good finisher, because it gets 390 damage with 175mm of penetration. So it's your pretty standard 122mm, either from the Soviets or from the Chinese. They use a lot of it. Awful aiming time on the 122 though. Really quite crap accuracy, to be honest, and you know, it's again not a particularly good rate of fire at 4, although this does 50 kilometers an hour. It's quite nippy. Good traverse and turret traverse at 46 degrees a second for each. 70mm of armour on the front of the hull, 45 on the side and rear, and this turret, the fully upgraded one, is 180 on the front, 120 on the sides and 60 on the rear, so you can bounce a few ill-aimed shots. Now I'm going to fail take this Chaffee a couple of times before he actually dies. And I think, you know what, bugger it, auto lock. There we go, finish him off. Now, one of the replays you're going to see tonight, I'll get this out of the way while I'm just trying to find some more enemies, is the OI Experimental with the 10cm gun. And you probably noticed I did one the other night, and from last night's video I was saying that I'm going to do the road to the tier 10 and show you as I'm going through it, so with the stock gun and everything else. Now, what that basically means is that I have cocked up and decided to do the sort of moving on up after I'd got to the OI Experimental, so I'm going to stick the stock gun back on it, run it in a few games, and you know, I'm not going to make out that I haven't got it, because obviously the evidence is out there, you can see, and you'll just call me a liar. So yeah, I'm going to stick the stock gun back on it, do a couple of games, that sort of thing. Put the next gun on, probably the 7.5cm, I think it is, which reminds me a lot of the M1A1 and the M1A2, but just a bit more alpha damage. And do it that way. But the actual OI itself, that will be done properly, I assure you, because I'm not going to make that cock up again. Now, this one, I'd not, to be honest, the Gorynych match was quite good. I think that was one of the first ones I did today. Like I said, I've been running my monster tanks because I want to grind out some cash, and why not take advantage of the times too while it's on. But the Gorynych, like I say, was probably the first or the second match I had today, and it was quite a good, decent, fun match. The rest of the day went downhill slightly. Again, I don't know why. I think I'm going to take some of the responsibility for just making silly decisions, or, well, not so much silly, just taking risks. You know, you have to do it. Sometimes they pay off, sometimes they really don't. Now, bounce off the front of that M6 and take a big hit from that tank destroyer in return. And it's a T-28, so that's going to be tricky to get through from the front. I'm going to go for the commander's hatch. Yeah, definitely go for the commander's hatch. Oh, and it goes slightly high and actually goes through, which is nice. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Yeah, some of it was down to teams. I was on Pacific Island Typhoon, I think it was, in my Centurion 1. And the entire team, bar about 3, maybe 4 tanks, and I was one of those. We started in the north, and they just camped the sort of mountain to the north and stayed there. And you can guess how that turned out. Not very good. Another team on steps, the entire team bar me and one other tank, camped the ridgeline in front of the base. So until, well, actually no, they did actually leap into action at some point, but not until a lot of tanks were on one flank. Now you can see I did block somebody's shot by accident. That wasn't intentional. I just wasn't going to sit there with these guys trading shots, so I basically blasted past, slapped a shot into the T-34 on my way, finished off the tank destroyer, so I've not got anything at my back, and now we've got the T-34 sandwiched between us, and, well, if those guys can't pen him from the front, I can certainly pen him from the back. And with 390 average damage, it shouldn't take too many shots. It's just waiting for that lengthy reload. And it's just turning. Am I going to make the reload before he hits me? Yes, just. I think a second longer and he would have risked a shot at me. But, like I say, I've been having a bad day, so this match, I wasn't going to sit around. I just thought, do you know what? Let's go balls out all the way and just go for it. And I was about to nail it round that corner, and then there's an SU-152. So, yeah, not that balls out, I must admit. I'm just aiming for the shot, and that's when I see that he's not equipped with the howitzer, so he's got a much faster reload. It sets me on fire. I hit my fire extinguisher, but just not quite fast enough. So I think we'll just skip to the end, and let's see how we actually did. Not brilliant, but not too bad. 1,000 of that was actually from an op, but I did just under 2,000 damage. But that gun, it does have a lengthy reload. But again, I just had fun, and sometimes that's all you need, isn't it? Just a bit of fun in a match. Came third on the table, which again I'm happy with. The T-34, like he had a decent game, so that's not too bad. Damaged a few, spotted a few, that sort of thing. But it was fun charging past that T-34, I think it was. I wasn't sure I was going to make it, but when I did I was quite pleased with myself. So yeah, that's it, just have a bit of fun. Right, anyway, Tier 7 match. It's an encounter on South Coast, and I'm in the Revenant Kraft Panther, and this one is the annoying, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Quick rundown of the stats. It's got the long 88, the long 75, the Comedy L100, 198 pen, which is really good, 135 damage, which is one of the lowest I think at tier 7 on the mediums actually. 12 rounds a minute though, and it is very accurate. This has got a faster top speed than the standard Panther, faster traverse, but I think that makes up for the weaker engine. but it has got a much faster turret traverse, which is nice, and it does help. 85mm of armour on the front, 50 on the side, 40 on the rear. It's not got the upgraded turret, the small term I think it is. It's actually got the first turret, so you've got 100 on the front, 45 on the sides and rear. And you'll see what I mean about this one being the annoying. It is an early cap game. Now, capping, controversial, I know. You know, I am not, and I've said this before, I am not a no-cap kill-all person, but neither am I a rush to the cap and sit in it and try and cap out in a couple of minutes person either. There is a time and a place for capping, and I'm going to have this MT25, little bugger. Oh, I don't know where that one went. He's dodging and weaving, he's doing a good job. Oh, and I managed to set him on fire. That's going to hurt. Is he going to burn to death? No. Do you know what? Screw it. Just kill him anyway. Yeah, but there is a time and a place for capping, and there's a time, I mean, in a light tank, if you see a gap in the enemy defences, rush for cap, sit in it for a little bit, get some of the tanks to turn around, and then bugger off again, and use it as a diversionary tactic. But what I don't agree with is rushing to the cap at the beginning of the match and sitting in it and capping out within 2-3 minutes, because, you know, this was my daily double, and I didn't get a very good score out of this XP wise, and the thing that really annoyed me is I was having quite a good game, and there were other people who obviously wouldn't have even had a chance to see an enemy tank because they're in a slow heavy and that sort of thing, and then all of a sudden we've won. And if that's a daily double, God, I'd be quite cross. So, I mean, in a map like this, or a match like this, in an encounter, what I would like to try and do, and I was on a team once and a guy said this over the headset, this is going back a few months, well, I just circle this T25/2, I think he feels the inevitability of his doom. And there he goes, poor lad. And the VK3601, I'm going to start putting some shots into him. Yeah, and anyway, he came over the headset and said, take the cap, secure the cap, but don't take it. And a lot of the team started to put affirmative, and that's what they did. They went around the cap, and they secured it and stopped any enemies getting into it, but they didn't sit in it and take it until... Now, unless, obviously, if the match looks as though it's not going in your favour, cap. That's a time for capping. And I mean, you can see there we capped out before even 3 minutes were up, and I was having quite a decent game there. And the only reason I got 2,620 was again from op. 794 base XP for a win, and top of the table is quite frustrating when it could have been so much more. So please don't be that guy that rushes the cap and sits in it and caps out and thinks brilliant. I mean, look at some of those poor guys down at the bottom. That, you know, that could have been their daily double, and they would be so frustrated at that. But again, like I say, if it's looking as though it's not going in your favour, yeah, cap. Or if you want to, sit in the cap, but if there's a couple of enemy tanks left and you've got like 7 or 8 or something and you're about to cap, just reset it. Just drive out and drive back in. You'll still get your XP for capping, that sort of thing. But please cap responsibly. In fact, I ought to do a public service announcement about capping responsibly, a bit like the drink responsibly ones. I don't want to make light of drink responsibly, obviously, because it's a good thing. But yeah, I think I might have to do a public service announcement on capping responsibly. Anyway, we're in the Japanese Tier 5 Super Heavy, the OI Experimental, and it's on El Halou for Standard Battle, and it's a Tier 5 match, which is always nice when you're top tier in this. I've got the 10cm gun, like I say, because I've cocked up, and I shouldn't have got this now. I should have shown it with the other one first, but anyway, that's another matter. And 75mm on the front, I think 70 on the sides and rear, is it, if my memory serves me. The values haven't actually been put into the app yet, so I'm not entirely sure. And thank you for the effort, I do appreciate it, but I don't think it'll quite work. I'm a 100-ton tank and you are not. So, but thank you for the, it's the thought that counts. Anyway, 10cm gun, which I think is 130 penetration, if I remember rightly, and it's 300 damage, and I think it's around 5 or 6 rounds a minute. Again, I don't have the figures for that one, I'm afraid, because they've not been put into the app yet. Now this one was yesterday, and this one also features a subscriber that I just happened to see in a match. In the first one we had Bonkster, who was in the 110, who I brutally ran down in the KV-5, apologies again. And in this one, and I hope I'm pronouncing this right, we have BACE 2015, or 2015 if you want to call it that. And it was just after the match, I think it was, that he realised that they realised that I was actually in here, and popped me a message on the PlayStation. Right, managed to take out those two tanks. So, but I've taken a bit of damage. I think I take an arty hit there while I was rambling on. So I'm going to play it a bit more cautious around here. Put one into that Panther 4H, and he bounces off the front, which is nice. There's quite a lot that can get through 75mm down here, especially if hit one of those mini turrets on the front well, or that flat bit behind them. That's one of the easiest places to pen because it's flattest. So obviously with 75mm of armour, if you've got about 80, well at this range, I'd say about 100mm of penetration, and get through that quite reliably. Managed to finish off the Panther 4H. We've got the enemy OI experimental around the corner, and you notice I'm going for the flat corner there because that is where the ammo rack is. And like I say, one of the easiest places to pen it. And in the corners at the front either side where the ammo rack is, behind that you've got engine parts either side, and obviously towards the back of the tank. And I managed to get the kill shot on the OI, so I'm to 3 kills, which is lovely. And I'm going to start rushing the enemy base now and see what we can do about finishing off the tanks that are in there. And it's not going too bad. It's in our favour at the minute with 3 ahead, which is quite a nice lead. Not a certain lead, but it's quite a nice one. And I think I mentioned in the other video about this, I was very surprised at how quick this is in a straight line, because I've been driving the Kaiju OI and that's a lot slower. But I was very pleasantly surprised when I got in this and saw how quick it actually was. Managed to finish off the Type 95. We've got a Marder, and the poor guy gets one-shotted by this monster 10cm. But Artie's paying another interest again. There's the second one. And I'm just making sure that I'm not going to give my side to anything as I'm coming out here, because the side of these are very flat and easily penetrated again. Right, there's one arty. We've got an arty left, so hopefully might be able to get a shot at him and take him out. And he's disappeared though now. Now I've come round to the left because, well, I'm on 150 odd health, and there's a Churchill up here. So I know one arty's over that way. Oh, there's a Churchill. So I'm going to try and put myself in a position where it's as difficult as it can be for the arties to actually hit me. And that Churchill is using that 3.7-inch howitzer. You can tell because he's firing what looks like high explosive, and also the slow shell velocity. There's the arty, the Vesper. Can I get him? I should have waited for that to fully aim. I think I would have had time. I was just being a bit keen there. So I managed to get one good hit on the Churchill, and something else finished him off. I am having trouble with my words today. Now, oh, 3001H. No, get rid of the artillery. Back off. No, not quite enough, I'm afraid. So I think we'll skip to the end there and see how we did. Now, there was a T-67 left, this sneaky little bugger, and try as he might, base unfortunately just couldn't find him because he was in a KV-222, which is not particularly fast, and the T-67 is very fast and very sneaky, so unfortunately got away. But I did manage to pull out a Top Gun and a First Class Mastery on that match, which was absolutely fantastic, because I was still doing the op yesterday. I've got a slightly different one because I bought the tanks, but I get some little goodies for it anyway. So that was a lovely match. I am liking the OI Experimental. It's a fun tank. It's a bit like my KV2. I do like derping it about in that every now and again. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed tonight's episode. I felt it was time to do a proper random destruction, because I've not done one for a while, so there you go. And a big shout out to my subscribers. And yeah, as always, take care out there, and I will catch you next time. See you later.